I'm building a desert forest, and everything I need to do that is heavy. Water, soil amendments, and a bulldozer. So far, I've got a terrace growing with young trees, but I want to speed that up. I want this forest to happen faster. To do that, I need a bigger truck, and like any good Texan tells himself, I need a new truck, y'all. A bigger truck. A stronger truck. But here's the thing. The desert doesn't care about my plans. Almost as soon as I brought the truck out to the ranch, it felt like everything that could go wrong did go wrong in true Dustups fashion. Stranded in the middle of nowhere, covered in dust. This is out. I was left staring down problems I never saw coming. It's the kind of moment that makes me question, why am I doing this in the first place? Is walking through a desert forest glamorous? Maybe someday, but the process of building one sure isn't. The desert humbles you. It forces you to adapt, to push through setbacks, and to focus on the bigger picture. It's messy, it's frustrating, it's definitely not what I expected, but by the end of this, I think you'll understand why I'm still all in on making my desert forest happen.
Giant truck.
Welcome to America. I'm sorry I couldn't get a bigger truck out here, but you gotta make do when you're slumming it. Unbelievably sore. I've driven these roads 100 times. It's never been an issue, and even with the air suspension seat.
You're gonna have to go slower. It is a rougher suspension. However, if the truck was loaded and had weight on it, totally different. It doesn't have any weight on it.
Yeah. For you, sir. I already had spares made.
Why am I not surprised? Impressed with how good of condition this thing is in. And it's only got 74,000 miles or something like that. 73,000 miles.
Yeah, it's literally just broken in. I calculated it. I think it's 15% of the way through its service life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get unloaded and start making my supper, because actually I'm gonna go get my jacket on.
Yeah, it's getting chilly.
It occurred to me in the last episode that I promised y'all a brief tour of the new, well, it's not new, it's got 73,000 miles on it, but my International 4300 2003 model, I picked it up for less than $11,000, and it is in really, really good condition for a truck this old. Let me walk you around here. So it's got the air ride suspension seats. Absolutely necessary, but you can see aside from the manuals that fell down on the bumpy roads, looks really good. You can see the odometer, 73,009 miles now that I've brought it out here. It's in reasonably good shape, it's pretty clean, aside from my trash from yesterday. And more importantly, it will haul a bunch of weight. So, this is the part that Daniel's working on. Brandon picked up some food service tables in Sierra Blanca, and we'll use that for butchering meat for ourselves. It's got the spare tire, but I think it's rated to tow 26,000 is the GVWR. Yeah, look at it. 25,500. All right. Now you can see the size of these tires. Came with this pintle hitch, which, that by itself is probably 250 bucks. These D-rings are welded on. I can drag the gravel screen around, which is going to be the first trial. And let me show you this. This all came with the truck too. So we got straps, we got some binders, we got balls, chains, bottle jack, knick-knack tools. It's all ready to go. And now I want to put this thing through its paces. The first test is going to be just driving over the dams, making sure I don't have any trouble getting up the hill before I have any meaningful weight on the bed. And then the other thing is, on the way out here yesterday, there was one spot in the road where the tires were sliding, and I smoothed that out with the dozer this morning. So I'm hoping that I can take the truck down there for step 2, make sure it gets up the hill okay. And then we're just going to start adding weight. We'll load Brandon up with a whole bunch of water because he has to learn how to drive a stick, which is going to be quite the adventure. And then, assuming that we can haul water successfully on the bed, then we'll step it up. We'll go get the dump trailer and bring out 14 cubic yards of horse manure to load on the terrace. So let's get going. Roads and access are a recurring issue out here because I'm almost 6 miles from the county road. Whatever sections that I dislike between my ranch and the county road is my responsibility to fix. I've gone through several phases where I fixed the road to a standard that's appropriate for my current equipment. I could barely get trucks to the ranch when I started, so we used a skid steer to fix the worst parts. When I wanted a smoother ride, I used the bulldozer in places. But a road that's fine for a Tacoma isn't fine for a truck that's almost 4 times heavier. The quickest way to smooth the roads is with a harrow, except that this isn't a harrow. This was fabricated as a gravel screen. Over time, we turned it into a multi-tool. We use it for hanging meat on cold winter nights before the meat goes in the freezer. And because it sits on little skis and weighs 1,100 pounds, it's really good for smoothing roads when you pull it behind a truck. This section of the road used to be a problem, so earlier in the day I worked on it with the dozer for an hour, and I left a few soft patches of soft sand, which I inadvertently drove into while I was turning around with the gravel screen behind me. Oh no, it felt pretty good. Let's get the truck turned around and maybe it'll work. Those soft spots will harden up after the first rain because the soil is laden with calcium, which turns into a light concrete as soon as there's no moisture. But for now, soft sand, and I'm stuck. This isn't a terrible problem, but I need to go get the traction boards from, that's a problem though. I lost a chunk of my tire. I've lost several chunks off that tire. Now these tires need to be replaced. Here we go. The joys of owning equipment. Looks like I'm walking. It's a 10-minute walk. It's not that big of a deal.
That's good news.
Yeah. Do you have the traction boards in the truck?
Yeah.
All right, let's, you want to give me a lift? All right, here's the question. How's the road?
It's all right. Thinking more about how you were when you didn't pick up after call, and that's why I'm headed down.
Gotcha.
In case you needed
Rescue.
any kind of assistance.
It's just that rear tire right there.
Yeah.
It's dug in a little bit, so I just got to get the traction board under it, and it should be good.
I've used wood laying in the road to do this before. Never had the actual
the proper traction board. Yeah, you know, I mean, I can't say I'm excited to use it, but I kind of am because now it justifies the purchase.
I thought these were metal the whole time. Looks identical on both sides, pretty much functionally, but maybe this goes down. It looks like it bites more on that side.
Is it even catching the boards?
No, not even a little. It's on the boards, but it's not biting the boards.
I think we're ready, Brandon. How about the other side? Tell me what's happening on the other tires.
They're not moving. I think we better get the dozer or the truck and start pulling.
Let's just grab the chains and actually just get those. I wonder if I should have put a traction board on the other side. I'm wondering what I did wrong.
Or yeah, well, you want to try that?
No, let's go get Daniel.
All right. More shenanigans today.
That's exactly what it is.
Have you ever heard that term before?
I have not. No.
Tell your wife that. She'll enjoy it.
Shenanigans.
Oh, what's up?
The truck, it's stuck in soft sand. So you see the tire?
Yeah, that should be fine. Don't stand between the trucks. Chains don't snap and fly around like straps or cables do.
At least the truck goes up that hill without any problems now. Yeah, you're gonna have to pull from the other side.
I see.
It's super effective. It was actually really fun to watch. I mean, I built it as a gravel, or had it fabricated as a gravel screen, but it's actually a wonderful road grader.
Yeah, it is. Other than the noise, that pulled it effortlessly. You hit some big rocks and you can feel it boom, boom, but there was no effort on the truck.
Well, it's easy to drag.
Little bitty V6 pulled out that truck with no problem. He also wasn't stuck. It was
you just needed a little help.
yeah, just a little. When I saw it, I was like, oh, he's just hung up because there's loose soil. That's it. It wasn't stuck. It was temporarily immobilized.
Yes. I have to walk miles and miles every single day. And because Bombas thinks about the details of its products, it makes me not think about my feet. I love Bombas socks because out here, my feet are everything. Check this out. Left foot, right foot. Do you have two left feet? Shouldn't your socks also match the shape of your foot? It seems so obvious that the shape of your foot should be reflected in the shape of your sock. And because Bombas is so detail-oriented across all of its products, whether it's the socks or the merino wool shirt that I'm wearing, everything is so carefully thought out that you just don't have to pay attention to your comfort. Support yourself and support the Dustups project at the same time. Go to bombas.com/dustups. Use the promotion code Dustups20 to get 20% off of your first order. Again, that's bombas.com/dustups. Use the promotion code Dustups20 to take 20% off your first order. Your support for my sponsors is what makes the Dustups project possible. And honestly, I can't say enough good things about Bombas. I'm so proud to have them as a sponsor. Everybody that emails me talks about how much they love these socks, how much they love this shirt. It's all positive feedback. So I don't have any concerns whatsoever about sending y'all to Bombas. Go check them out, use the promotion code, and now back to the episode. Good morning. I woke up very early this morning at 5 a.m. so that I'd be able to drive down to Debbie's, go get all that manure with my truck, and in true Dustups fashion, that tire exploded. I was driving with the window down, and all of a sudden I heard the air lines going psh, psh, psh. I drove maybe like 20 seconds on it and it totally mangled the tire. So I was able to get the truck out of the road, and now I'm going to see if I can change this tire. Main concern is there's no point in worrying about it. Let's just get started. This is gonna take forever, but anyway, one. This is out. And it's just old tires, and Daniel's on his way to buy new all-terrain tires for this truck, which is clearly in dire need of new tires. So not preventable, that's just an age thing. Now, I just gotta get the next tire on, which sounds like, oh, I'll just put the tire on, but it weighs 5 million pounds. After I changed that spare successfully, I was taking David, who's been here from Germany for 2 weeks, back into Sierra Blanca so I could park the truck and go worry about getting new tires, when the sidewall in the spare slid open and all the air started pouring out. So I was able to get this truck parked, and Daniel came out basically to rescue me, and he came out with new tires and a tire cheetah. But the tire cheetah had a valve that was leaking, and so when we tried to inflate it, it wasn't inflating the tire. And after we tried to improvise with brake cleaner to try to explosively get the tire to seal, it clearly wasn't going to happen. Daniel and I had a very long 24 hours driving into El Paso, getting 2 of my brand new tires mounted, and now we're out here. We're going to put one on the truck, keep one as a spare, and then the next time I'm in El Paso, I have all my tires ready to go and I'll get mounted. This truck is not doing any duty work until the new tires are on it. So I'm looking forward to putting this behind me, and then I realized I really should have done a service over the truck with fuel filter, air filter, engine oil. Just like, let's clean it out and make sure that we're working with a known starting point. We're gonna do that, and then I can finally start hauling manure and water and everything I need to succeed out here. I can't believe I'm this excited about a tire.
Heavy though.
Yes.
Like, this is insane. If I've ever dealt with one of these things when I was younger, I probably would have steered you differently. Like on the ability to change it out here.
Yeah. It's muy intenso. Now the 4300 has exactly what she needs. I have 6 brand new 14-ply all-terrain tires. This truck clearly has a small draw on it. The lady that sold it to me, the battery was dead when she went to go start it. I parked the truck for a month. The battery's dead, so I think I just need to add in a master switch on this so I don't have to deal with it for a while. But part of the joys of owning equipment. Since I just had this problem, I think I should keep these with me. Let's go. When Daniel came out to rescue me, the tires for the 4300 are so large that we could only get 2 of them in the back of his pickup. Those 2 tires were good enough for me to get on the truck, have a spare, and get back to El Paso, where we could put on the rest of the tires. Feeling chastised by my experience with trying to get a little more life out of old tires, I don't want to play that game with fluids and filters. Those are cheap enough that there's no justification for trying to get extra mileage out of them. And while I'm in El Paso, I tend to use Daniel's house like a logistical hub where I can pull up, we can do a quick service, changing the oil, changing filters, and get it back on the road. It's so much easier to do those things at somebody's house. I can't really quantify how or why, it just is. So whenever I have the chance to do quick maintenance in El Paso, I try to knock it out. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I should have done the first time, is give the truck a full service, but we put all brand new tires on. It's got 6 beautiful black tires. It's got a spare that's in reasonable shape. We have changed the oil successfully. New fuel filter. We just need a new fuel filter and a new air filter, and she's good to go. And I need to find where that draw is on the current. We got little things to do, like adding a master switch and a little crane, and the air hose reel. But other than that, we're pretty much ready to go into service. All of this work is finally leading to this. I have a full dump trailer. There's probably 12.5 or 13 yards of manure in there. It's hooked up to the truck. It's on brand new tires. Those dump trailer tires are fully inflated. We're ready to take all of this manure and get it on the terrace, because it's going to be the key ingredient for the desert forest. I know this episode has been a beating, and that is not the goal. It's really about showing you guys what it takes to make this happen. You don't just get in a truck and drive to the ranch. There's so much logistics and effort and sleepless nights that are going into making the desert forest possible. We're going to get up to the Dustups Ranch. We're going to get that trailer on the terrace, and you are going to see it dump its glorious load on the terraces so that we can make this desert forest happen.
1 hour later.
Hey, the saga continues. I'm turning on the private road up to my ranch, and the other tires are good. That one is not good. Nice thing about this truck is it does have an air compressor on it, which I haven't messed with yet. I just got to play with it and see if I can get it connected, and then it should not be a big ordeal just to throw air in that and get it up to the ranch. Longer term, I know these tires that came on this dump trailer are just blowing left and right out here. Those are going to get replaced as well, and then hopefully the tire situation is sorted, but I hope this goes to show you that tires, it is the center of life in the desert. One comment I know I'm going to see is somebody encouraging me to get 14-ply tires for the dump trailer. They already were 14-ply tires. It's not the tread that's failing, it's the sidewalls. These are the original tires that came with the dump trailer, including the 4 tires that I lost on this trip and the 2 spares that have previously blown. It's clear that those tires are not a winning recipe either. Since then, I've ordered 6 new 14-ply tires from a brand name manufacturer with a much higher weight rating on those tires. The tires are rated for almost 4,000 pounds per tire. Let's go while I got air.
12 seconds later.
So, I'm stuck on the slope. I think what I'm gonna do is have Brandon come get me for now, and then I will come back with the dozer and we'll just give it a tug up the hill. It's kind of silly running this way, so I obviously have to fix these hills before this is feasible. So after Brandon came and picked me up, I walked in here and I felt an immediate sense of relief. What's different is normally when I come here, it feels like, okay, the trip is starting. But because I'm now several days in and there's been a lot of drama and a lot of hours, I walked in here and I actually felt calm. Like, not I'm home in the sense of like with my wife and kids, but it feels like a safe, secure spot. So I feel like I'm home and it feels really good. I'm super happy to be at camp even without the truck. It's only 6 o'clock at night, and Brandon fed me some roast lamb that he made that's absolutely phenomenal. So that was a really nice treat. It's so early that I don't think I need to be defeated, but I will hopefully go check the dozer, make sure I'm happy with everything, and then I may go give that a tug tonight just because it's so early. I always struggle in the wintertime when it gets this dark this fast, but adapt and overcome. I thought this was going to be fairly trivial. My assumption was that the loose gravel on this section of the road was the problem, and that the bulldozer, with a little help from the truck, ought to easily get me up the ramp with the trailer. After we gave it a little pull and realized that pulling it up the hill wasn't going to work, we had the bulldozer make its own path so that it could get around that choke point in the road and pull the trailer and the truck down the hill so we could get it out of the way and at least be able to drive our regular vehicles past. It wasn't until we went to all that trouble that I discovered the real reason we weren't ever going to get that trailer up the hill. Hey, Brandon. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, there's no amount of
we
reverse that we got to get you over that. If we move the chain over here, maybe we pulled past that, but...
No, it's not happening.
So you should pull forward and I should flatten this out.
Yes. The trailer's gonna have to go here because we're out of tires. Right there. I gotta make sure that the wheels are gonna get over that. Well, we made a mess of the road, but that saves me 14 yards of manure. I should be able to get those tires off with my bulldozer-sized bottle jack. I'm gonna get that trailer unhooked and chalked, and then Brandon can come here and clean this up a little bit so I can at least get the truck up to camp. You think we can save those tires?
I'm not a tire guy. Kind of doubt it.
But that worked. I mean, not thrilled with how it went, but it worked. Those tires are beyond shot. I really hate driving any distance on my wheels, even if it really was only 10 feet on loose gravel. But it's a choke point in the road. We can't keep the trailer in the middle of the road. That door came open while I was backing up, and that's why it was not going. Lost my cabinet. Great. The truck probably could have made it up that section on its own, unassisted, but as you can see throughout the episode, it really doesn't like driving around without weight on the back. The dozer was already there, so we decided to take a few minutes and just smooth the road before I tried driving the truck up, because why not? I'm really excited that we managed to save all that manure. I thought for sure we'd have to dump all of the weight, the manure, and waste it where we don't want it so that we'd be able to recover the trailer. Brandon and I got the old tires off before I left, and he later made a run into El Paso to pick up the new, higher weight rating 14-ply tires. Those are now on the dump trailer waiting for me to haul the manure up to the terrace on my next trip. We're literally on the last mile to get that manure in place. So I should be able to drive up it now.
Okay.
And then we'll walk and figure out how to make the permanent fix.
Cool.
I think this should do it. Yeehaw! This isn't for you to fix, it's just for you to look for problems. Like, you see how that road bumps and then goes like that? Yeah. We want as few of those as possible.
So yeah, I believe we don't meet another Volkswagen-sized boulder along the way.
Yeah. Like, had enough of that. I'm sure it's going to come up again, but the longer we can go between meeting one, the better. I finally made it. And a lot worse for the wear, but the tires, I beat the snot out of them going on all that gravel and slipping, and they look fine. There's no chunks missing. The rubber looks good, so that's a good start. Obviously damaged the storage box, which that's no good, but I'm here. We got that one section of road where I pulled a full trailer and it made it except for one spot. So we'll have Brandon fix that part of the road, and well, it's not even really fixing, it's expanding and building it correctly. And if we can get this road to where this can drive, not great, but at least not bucking around, then that would be a huge win. I have a massive headache from all that stuff we just did. I'm gonna go take a Tylenol and just chill for a bit, because this has been a long day. You can hear in my voice and see it on my face how tired and frustrated I felt. What you don't hear or see me doing is quit. The way I see it, I'm 90% of the way to my goal, and my goal in this case isn't the broader desert forest. I'm talking about the system of bringing out soil amendments, particularly manure, to make these things happen. It's not about bringing out this first full load of manure. It's about laying the groundwork so that I can bring out manure over and over and over again without major hiccups. Manure is the foundation of the forest. The organic matter is food for the soil microbes that eventually feed my trees. And the manure is also a sponge. It soaks up water in the soil, keeping it around for much longer than would otherwise be the case with mostly sand. It's been an expensive process building the tools and the supplies to make these manure trips happen. The truck was $10,000. Its new all-terrain 14-ply tires were $2,700. The new fluids and filters were a little under $1,000. The dump trailer was $8,500, and its new 14-ply, almost 4,000-pound weight limit tires were another $1,350. That puts me $23,350 into making manure hauling possible in my desert conditions. The next head start on the forest is my trees growing in the nursery. If you'd like to get a peek at how those trees are doing, visit the link in the description or scan the QR code that you see on the screen. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in that nursery update video.